Space literally cracks wide open as a massive energy blast goes off in the void. But the real pain doesn't come from the fight, it comes from the supreme goddess landing a devastating finishing strike right to his core. Betrayed in the worst way possible by the person he trusted most, the Star Emperor gets hurled straight into the abyss. Banished to Earth with his divine powers totally locked away, the gods figured he'd just be some forgotten loser. Now, stuck in a mortal body, even stuck-up rich kids come storming in trying to humiliate him and ruin his life. Everyone gives him the cold shoulder and delivers the exact same verdict. He is weak. But what nobody realizes is that when she sealed his powers, the goddess made a massive blunder, leaving some crazy loopholes in his soul. A completely wild system wakes up to get his cosmic strength back. All he has to do is farm absolute salt from the dudes and steal the hearts of the ladies. The result? When an elite champ tries to crush him, our MC just stops the ultimate punch using only his fingertips. With a single disrespectful flick, he sends the giant brute flying all the way across the arena. The fallen emperor is back, and he has already made a promise. Everyone who did him dirty is going to get a taste of ultimate payback. Space cracks wide open. A colossal blast of energy detonates in the vacuum, blowing everything in its path to smithereens. But the explosion doesn't even leave a scratch on our MC. He casually brushes off the chaos, staring down two opponents radiating straight-up demonic vibes. A smirk creeps onto his face. The main guy starts trash-talking, asking if these 5 losers dragged him all the way out here just to get their butts kicked all over again. One of them loses his temper. The dude yells furiously that the glory days of the fallen Star Emperor are officially over. Wasting no time, the 5 of them surround the MC. Each one powers up, closing in for the takedown. Our guy doesn't even blink. He watches the energy blasts coming right at him with the chill of someone who knows exactly what he's doing. He holds out a hand and drops the truth bomb. He only let them stick around because he was bored out of his mind and was just using them for entertainment. One of the demons roars completely unhinged. He curses the MC's sheer audacity with every ounce of hatred he can muster. But the vibe shifts. A new squad pops up out of nowhere, and a voice wonders aloud what would happen if they decided to crash the party. In the very next second, Nalan Rui steps into the spotlight. The most overpowered goddess of war reveals her presence to the crowd. The MC is caught off guard. He asks what she's doing here, right when he finally found a fun spot to hang out with the whole crew. Rui just ignores him. In dead silence, she forms an energy sphere in the palm of her hand, ready to strike. Without any warning, she lets it rip. The blast of pure power tears through space and nails our guy right in the gut. The impact sends him flying. He gets knocked back, totally blindsided, feeling the heavy toll of that sneak attack. Now, Rui teams up with the bad guys. She glares ice cold at the MC and delivers her verdict: he's weak. Everyone joins forces. They start channeling their energy into a single point, fusing their powers into something massive. The combined force turns into a gigantic energy tornado. In the middle of the chaos, she yells at the MC to brace himself for what's coming. The attack swallows reality itself. A blinding light erupts, wiping out everything at the center of the universe. The scene cuts. A white-haired kid is sent flying, seemingly repeating the same word, me. He clutches his head in bitterness. He tells Nalan Rui he was blind to follow her for so long, only to get stabbed in the back. The vision shifts to silhouettes flying toward a massive heavenly gate, surrounded by beautiful cherry blossoms. The MC respawns right there. He floats in that sacred place, staring up at the towering portal in front of him. 2 smaller portals pop open. Out steps a maid from one and a guy in a suit from the other. Our hero wants to know what kind of crazy setup this is. The blonde explains the deal. He is on Earth, and Nalan Rui, the supreme goddess of the 9 domains, hopes he uses this time out to do some serious soul-searching. She introduces herself as Alice, his system concierge, a custom creation by the goddess herself to keep him company. Alice lays down the rules: if he wins over the ladies, he scores points. And those points buy colorful chocolates that restore his powers. Then the suit guy chimes in. He introduces himself as Louis XIII, his streaming concierge. The main guy listens to every detail, giving them the side eye, trying to process this whole bizarre situation while looking deep in thought. Louis finishes the pitch. If the MC farms negative emotions from other guys, he can trade it all for top-tier items. Confusion sets in. Our boy wonders why Rui sealed almost all his power but left him these 2 cheat codes. He tries to figure out the game. What in the world is she scheming with this whole setup? But the doubt turns toxic. He swears that Nalan Ruyi, the ruler of the 5 domains, is going to pay a hefty price for this. Standing before a cosmic vortex, he makes a promise. When he makes his comeback, they're all going to feel the struggles of mere mortals firsthand. The focus shifts. He needs to use this new body to rebuild his strength as fast as humanly possible. Suddenly, the scene jumps to a bedroom. A woman on the bed is begging for forgiveness, claiming she's going through some really hard times. With her face drenched in tears, she confesses she had no choice and was forced into this mess. The MC loses his cool. He snaps, yelling at nothing, demanding to know what kind of sick setup he just walked into. The girl breaks down. She admits she only spiked his drink and tricked him to get cash for her sick dad's medical bills. The MC's memories click right back. He figures out she's a pawn working for his fiance, Chu Yun Chao, and warns her. The bustin' squad is gonna barge through that door any second. With a sarcastic grin, our guy activates his invisibility skill and vanishes. The girl is left speechless, totally clueless about what just happened. The door gets kicked wide open. A voice booms through the room saying they finally caught Xiang Richu red-handed, cheating right there in bed. It's Chu Yunfei, the fiance's brother. He storms in fuming, ready to embarrass the MC and call off the wedding with his sister. But the cameraman stops and freezes. He tells his boss there's no sign of Xiang Richu anywhere in the room. There's no guy in sight. Just the woman sitting on the bed with her back turned all by herself. Both of them look completely dumbfounded. Their foolproof plan just turned into a bizarre mystery. Yunfei boils with rage. He points at the girl and starts ranting, thinking she's playing him for a fool. She tries to stutter out an explanation, but fear locks up her throat and she can't form a single coherent sentence. Meanwhile, the MC is enjoying front row tickets to the show. Still invisible, he flashes that signature smirk, loving every second of it. Time to make a move. He winds up his divine starburst punch and goes straight for Chu Yunfei. The punch explodes right in the dude's face. He goes down without even knowing what hit him. Yunfei kisses the floor tiles, knocked out cold before he even saw it coming. Flat on his back, he clutches his stinging face and yells into thin air, demanding to know what coward sucker punched him from the shadows. Not missing a beat, our hero spins toward the cameraman and readies his bloodline-ending kick. The strike lands flawlessly. A direct and brutal hit, right to the family jewels. The mental image of a cracking egg perfectly captures the agony as the guy lets out a muffled groan. The photographer's face is pure panic, his eyes practically bugging out of his head. Seconds later, he crumples to the floor, curling up in a world of pain. A third lackey walks into the room calling for the others, already starting to think the place is haunted. Before he can even react, the MC pops up behind him and violently forces his mouth open. The man lets out a desperate scream, terrified by the sudden beatdown. Then, the main guy uses a throwing technique and chucks him hard against the wall. The dude is out cold before he even hits the floor, joining his 2 defeated buddies. Ju Yunfei, still laid out with a busted face, watches the whole thing in absolute shock. The last remaining goon spots the danger and hollers at his boss to watch out. Seeing that things have completely derailed, Yunfei orders a tactical retreat and yells for the crew to bail. They sprint down the hallway, making a desperate dash to save their own skins. Now visible, the MC brags, even with his powers mostly sealed. Teaching regular mortals a lesson is still a piece of cake. But right when he tries to look cool, a blue lightning bolt saps him. With a friendly warning, show-offs get electrocuted. He shakes it off, flips the bird to the sky, and sends a message. Those 5 old geezers better wash their backs. Walking across campus, the MC maps out his master plan. To get his strength back, he needs suckers showering him with gifts and girls falling head over heels, and school is the perfect hunting ground. His presence instantly turns heads, racking up peach blossom points, while some voice questions the sheer nerve of Xiang Richu showing his face around there. The MC looks up and bumps right into his fiancée Chu Yun Chao, storming his way. She's not in the mood for small talk and brought along a guy in a suit looking dead serious. Flashing that cheeky smile, our guy asks if 2 days apart was enough to make her miss him, promising to make it up to her tonight. Yun Chao is fuming. She denies any sort of intimacy and asks what kind of clown show he's trying to pull. Driven by anger, she points her finger and lays down the law. She's here to call off the engagement for good. He agrees to negotiate, but names his price. If her bodyguard beats him, the engagement is history. If he loses, she has to cough up 40 million to get out of the wedding. Yun Chao and the suit freeze. The unexpected offer hangs heavily in the air as they weigh the odds. The guy takes the bet. He cracks his knuckles with a smug smile of someone who's already won and gets ready to throw down. Our MC just watches, thinking about how predictable this duo is. They took the bait so easily, allowing him to score big bucks from this little setup. The opponent charges in, totally underestimating his target, bragging about his heavy training and telling a weakling like Xiang Rishu to just take his beating like a man. He throws a straight punch, but the main guy blocks it with just one hand, barely trying. The system registers the attacker's confusion and gets sarcastic, thanking bro Xiao Xinglang for donating a used cell phone. The dude is lost, trying to figure out where the MC went, moving at that kind of speed. All of a sudden the hand appears right in his face and the MC whispers the hard truth. He's way too slow. The slap echoes loudly. The system detects the enemy's pain and thanks Xiao Xinglang for another generous donation of points. Yun Xiao watches the whole thing in a trance, unable to process her bodyguard getting completely humiliated. Without a second thought, the MC proves he doesn't discriminate and slaps her too. She drops to the ground knocked out and her phone goes flying out of her hands. With a mocking gesture, the MC says he got a little carried away and asks if she has anything else to say. He leans over calmly and picks up the dropped phone from the floor. Somewhere else, Yin Xiao is crying on the phone with a swollen face, complaining about not getting a heads up, while a voice warns her not to poke the weirdo Shang Richu for the time being. A teacher interrupts the moment and corners the MC, asking why he's slacking off outside when class has already started. He gives a respectful greeting and reports that he just bumped into two friends who had a little accident. With a tone of fake charity, he explains that, in his selfless spirit, he was just about to call the crematorium to get a head start on things. The teacher orders him to hurry to class and report to her office afterward. He cheerfully agrees and goes on his way. The shot focuses on the teacher's lounge sign, hyping up their meeting. The MC walks down the hallway, heading with purpose straight to the office. As he gets closer, he overhears a guy offering Ms. Chin 300,000 a month for 4 days a week, demanding to know why she keeps turning him down. The MC instantly spots the harassment and his eyes light up. It's the perfect opportunity to cash in yet again. The creep won't give up. He dials up the pressure, demanding a final answer on whether she'll take the deal or not. Miss Kin's patience runs out. She tells him to back off right now, or he's going to regret it. Our guy barges into the room without holding back. He throws an arm over the guy's shoulder and announces that he'll gladly take the deal himself, reminding Principal Sun that a promise is a promise. 100,000 a day for his company. The principal snaps his head around, utterly confused, and demands to know who the intruder is. The MC introduces himself with total swagger, premium escort, master of both literary and martial arts, ready to play whatever game the big shot has in mind. Sun blows a gasket. He tells the main guy to go straight to heck and pulls out a baseball bat, ready to swing. Chin panics and screams, warning him to watch out. Right as he strikes, the system reads the attacker's hatred and drops the prize. One sports car added to the account, courtesy of Sun Yong Chang's fury. The principal freezes. The MC stops the bat with just one hand like it's absolutely nothing, and the guy yells desperately for him to let go. With that smirk of a guy who holds all the cards, our hero says, "No problem, he'll let it go." In the very next second, he opens his fingers and releases the bat. Thanks to the recoil, the bat snaps back like a boomerang and smashes right into Principal Sun's face. The system thanks the guy's humiliation and anger with 2 more rockets. The MC leans over the downed man. His glare is pure ice as he asks what the miserable guy's life is worth. Lifted by his collar, Sun chokes. Panic sets in as he wonders if this kid actually has the guts to end him right there. Our guy hoists him into the air and delivers checkmate. Buying his own life back is a stellar investment, don't you think? Out of breath and out of options, the man agrees to wire everything on the spot. He realizes that if he doesn't pay up, he's not walking out of there alive. While the system cashes in another sports car, the MC sets the terms. 5 million for Mizkin and another 5 million for him. A terrified Sun obeys without blinking. The principal's sheer terror earns another car for the main guy's stash. The dude says the money went through and begs to leave. Twirling the principal's card between his fingers, the MC cracks a smile and grants permission. You can go. Sun doesn't wait to be told twice. He bolts from the room like the devil himself is on his heels. The MC just stands there casually, watching the man's trail of panic. But in the blink of an eye, he pops up right behind the principal and drops a ta-da right in his ear. A swift chop to the back of the neck ends the sprint. The principal is out cold before he even figures out what happened. Sheen watches the whole thing in horror. She wants to know why he had to knock the guy out after all that. Sun's soul practically leaves his body while our victorious MC admires the trophy laid out at his feet. He pulls out his phone with a bright idea. He's gonna snap some candid art photos of Principal Sun. The lens focuses on the unconscious dude, sprawled out in the middle of the office. Not catching on to his lingo, the teacher asks what kind of bizarre art he's talking about. While snapping away, the MC explains his logic. A slime ball like this wouldn't just lose 10 million without plotting payback. Now, he's got the perfect blackmail material to keep the guy on a tight leash. Relieved, Kin says she'll handle the rest and offers to tutor him to make sure he gets into a good college. Inwardly, the MC knows he doesn't need any of that. He breaks the ice and calls her Yanya. He thanks her for caring and promises he'll put in maximum effort. The teacher turns beet red instantly. She tries to keep her composure and asks where he got the nerve to call her by a pet name. He doesn't even care. He says his goodbyes by repeating the forbidden nickname, and the system rewards him with 10 peach blossom points. She stands there frozen, feeling her face burn from that student's pure sass. The system congratulates the Honorable King Emperor. The points were traded for the wait skill, which can freeze space and time around him. The MC finds a quiet spot. He sits on the floor and closes his eyes, diving deep into meditation to channel his new power. His excitement is obvious. Holding time in the palm of his hands is the exact trick he needed to start claiming back his spot among the stars. The mood is cut short when his phone buzzes. It's an SOS from Ms. Kin. Someone is breaking into her house. The MC's face turns deadly serious. Playtime is over the second he reads that cry for help. Over at her place, a wooden closet starts rattling, giving away the sheer panic of the person hiding inside, huddled in the dark. Chin shakes with fear, praying for a way out that just doesn't seem to exist. Outside, the intruders complain about how fast she was and suggest tossing the bedroom. The guy wearing the clown mask gives the order, check every single corner, because she's locked in there with them. A faint blue light starts pulsing through the cracks of the closet doors. In a flash, our hero spawns right inside. He slaps a hand over the teacher's mouth before her scream can give away their hiding spot. Her eyes go wide, completely shell-shocked by this unexpected miracle inside her wardrobe. He presses a finger to his lips. The message is crystal clear. Absolute silence equals absolute safety. The masked guy steps closer. The sound of his footsteps stops right in front of the closet. He reaches out and yanks the door wide open. In the split second their world was about to end, the MC triggers wait, freezing the bad guys in time for 10 whole minutes. The intruders lock up mid-motion, having no clue why their bodies stopped working. Meanwhile, the system cashes in rockets and a sports car, courtesy of Wang Mingming and Liu Yufei. The main guy bursts out of the closet. He lands a heavy punch on one of the masked thugs and asks if they've got a death wish, breaking into people's homes with intent to harm. The force of the hit is brutal. One single strike is all it takes to wipe out both criminals at once. Not wasting a second, he grabs some rope and ties the guys up, leaving them tightly bound on the floor. He drags the duo out of the house like bags of trash and dumps them outside, totally helpless. He walks back to the closet and tells his teacher the coast is clear. Now they just have to let the cops handle the rest. His tone shifts to concern. He asks if she got hurt and wants to take a look, just to make sure she's in one piece. Still reeling from the shock, the teacher throws herself into his arms. The MC catches her and comforts her, swearing she's safe under his watch. She stares up at him, amazed, trying to wrap her head around how a student managed to handle that insane situation. He cuts her off before the interrogation begins. He brushes it off as just some self-defense tricks and tells her she just needs to rest and forget this whole nightmare. With her cheeks burning red, she quietly makes a request. She wants him to stay, at least until the sun comes up. He agrees. He says he'll stand guard on the couch while she locks herself in her room, but the system already spills the beans. The flower guard skill has maxed out, and Ms. Kin is totally crushing on him. Exhausted, our guy flops onto her couch and passes out, feeling the toll of his recent battles. Come morning, he finds a thank you note with an invitation. She'll be waiting for him in her office with a stack of old exams for him to study. He reads it, and a sweat drop rolls down his face. He complains to himself, thinking she's gotta be kidding, making him study after a night like that. Suddenly, the phone he borrowed from Yunqiao starts buzzing non-stop. It's a text from the ex-fiance saying the cash is ready and she's waiting for him at the hunting grounds. If he's late, the deal is off. The main guy sees right through it. Cash, isolated location, and hunting grounds? That reeks of a textbook ambush. The scene shifts to a fighting pit. A pink-haired lady and a massive meathead named Joey are watching the brawls looking incredibly smug. The MC shows up on time. He spots Young Keo sitting there all high and mighty and cuts right to the chase. Where's the money? She shoots him a challenging glare. She tells him the money is right there, but he's only touching it if he can beat Joey. In the background, dust kicks up. Two fighters are beating the living daylights out of each other in the middle of a dirt arena. One of them lands a devastating blow, brutally ending the match. The crowd goes wild. The pink-haired woman screams Joey's name at the top of her lungs, hyping up the fan favorite. Our hero smiles, keeping it classy. He says he's a man of peace and doesn't fight, but is she so eager to see him in the ring? The price just went up. He wants an extra 10 million for putting his dignity on the line. Yon Xiao takes the bet. She claims that if he makes it out alive with the jackpot, she'll actually admit he's got some skills. On the inside, she's laughing. She thinks his greed made him lose his mind, since Joey is a heavyweight champ trained to destroy people. The MC steps onto the arena dirt and faces the giant head-on. The crowd is pumped for the fresh meat. Joey calls him a walking corpse, and the audience roars for the fight to end in seconds. The champ cracks his knuckles and flexes, getting ready for a massacre. With his usual cocky attitude, our guy summons the system. He calls up Louis XIII and asks for a weapon to wrap this up quickly. Louis appears as classy as ever, bows, and confirms he's on it. Joey charges in, hollering for the MC to eat his fist, throwing a massive straight punch to crush him. The MC hits them with that signature smirk. He activates his power and whispers, "Wait." The champ freezes midair, locked in the middle of his punch. The system mocks the big guy's confusion and thanks Bro Joey for donating a used car. Chilling out, the main guy says that when he tells you to wait, you stay put. Just then, the system pops up handing him a spiky durian fruit. He grabs the fruit and goes to town on Joey's head, whacking him repeatedly without giving him any chance to fight back. The fighter crashes to the floor, out cold. The MC claims his victory while the system racks up more donations from Ling Jun and Joey himself. Just as he's walking out of the pit, he drops another weight into thin air. Out of nowhere, a new challenger appears radiating a dark aura, inviting him to a real match. The MC sizes the dude up. Just from the pressure the guy is giving off, he knows right away he's not dealing with your average mortal. The opponent doesn't waste any time. He charges in, his fist wrapped in a bright, intimidating blue energy. He shouts his move's name, Cold Family's mountain-crushing fist, and unloads all that power straight at our guy. Up in the stands, Yun Chao gets spooked. She never expected the guy to pull out a fatal move on the very first strike. Staring down imminent doom, the MC doesn't take a single step back. He just watches the attack fly in with total chill. He raises a single finger. He announces his own judgment, the star-splitting finger, glowing with a divine golden light. The tap lands dead center on the opponent's chest, blasting the man backward with overwhelming force. The system thanks Ling Jun for another rocket, as the impact carves a massive crater right into the arena dirt. The guy in the suit is left lying at the bottom of the pit, totally knocked out in a cloud of dust. In the crowd, a dude watches the whole thing in absolute shock. The system cashes in on Luda Chang's scare and scores an iPhone. The system just won't quit. Another donation confirmed, thanking Zhang Xiaolong, while some hooded guy watches the end of the fight from the shadows. Victory in the bag. The MC spawns in with a fresh look, rocking a trench coat with his hands in his pockets, dripping with big boss energy. He walks up to Yong Chao and keeps it real. A bet is a bet, so it's time to empty those pockets and pay up. Seething with rage, she calls him petty for bragging over a tiny win. But she hands over the credit card anyway. As a mini version of himself, our guy throws a little party. He screams to the heavens that he is finally rolling in dough. Yun Xiao ruins the mood. She demands to know when he's going to hold up his end of the bargain and cancel the engagement since he got what he wanted. With a cynical smile, he calls her sweetheart and suggests she thinks it over. After all, he is now a catch worth over 100 million. She completely loses it. She tells him to cut the garbage and stop stalling, demanding they end this arrangement right here and now. Heading out, he tells her if that's what she really wants, she's gonna have to take it up with his grandpa, and says bye by calling her his fiance. Yun Chao explodes. She screams his name at the top of her lungs, calling him a scumbag and swearing revenge for every single ounce of humiliation. The scene shifts abruptly. A massive spaceship is floating in the silent void of deep space. Inside, a blonde guy with a mark on his forehead brings a report to Lord Soren. The fallen Star Emperor is back, but with less than 1,000th of his original power. A shadowy, one-eyed entity gives the order. Gather every bit of firepower they have and wipe the Emperor out of existence. He has to go. The blonde guy accepts the order with 0 questions. The fate is sealed. The environment dissolves. A thick purple fog swallows the view. The main guy shows up with that "I know it's coming" grin, while a reflection of his past glows in the background. Night falls. He walks toward a mega mansion, using the darkness as his cover. His eyes give away his mischievous plan. He thinks it's the perfect time to drop off some special gifts. He steps up to the huge wooden gate and rests his hand on it, feeling the house's energy. From the outside, he just monitors the situation, keeping tabs on every single thing happening indoors. 3 guys in suits pop out of nowhere, hopping the mansion wall like invading shadows. In the yard, an old man is peacefully tending to his plants, watering can in hand, totally clueless about the impending chaos. But instincts kick in. He notices the break-in and the 3 goons circling him. The guys jump him with energy batons, but the old-timer proves he's still got reflexes and dodges every swing. He sidesteps again, rolling backward with speed that definitely does not match his age. In a quick sprint, he reaches the wall and smashes the panic button. The house's defenses wake up. 2 giant water cannons pop out of the wall and start blasting high-pressure streams. The garden turns into a Hydra war zone. The water pressure is insane, knocking down everything in its path. One of the intruders gets caught dead center and gets launched like a crumpled paper ball. The old man isn't wasting time. He dives for cover behind a giant planter and draws his pistol, ready to fight back. Up on the wall, the MC watches the show and is genuinely surprised. Pops has way more tricks up his sleeve than it looks. Another thug gets nailed by the water blast and violently slams into the scenery, but his luck runs out. A whip shoots out of nowhere and wraps around the old guy's leg, pinning him down. The bad guy walks up with a twisted grin. He tells the old man not to take it personally, but 50 million for his head is just too much cash to pass up. He lunges forward with a blade gleaming in the dark, aiming straight for General Tong. The general goes on high alert, staring down the knife meant to end his story. Suddenly, an object slices through the air at high speed. A brick. Plain and simple. The projectile explodes on the thug's head, and he drops to the floor screaming in pain. Before the second goon can even register what just happened, another brick shatters right in his face. The MC pops up and asks if their emperor went soft, or if these ants just got a little too cocky, trying to jump an old man on his watch. The system confirms 2 rockets deposited, courtesy of Zhang Dinian and Lu Xiaodong. Our guy celebrates the easy profit. Relieved, General Tong recognizes him and says thanks, calling him by his name, Xiang. But when the old guy looks again, the main guy is already gone from the wall. Confused, the man looks left and right, not understanding how he vanished into thin air so fast. Already out of sight, the MC celebrates his teleport trick, and the system thanks Tong Runfeng for the confusion points and a used car. He spawns instantly right at the mansion's main gate. General Tang runs toward the entrance, still trying to process the hit. He bumps right into our hero, who is waiting for him, acting like it's the most normal thing in the world. The old-timer lets out a laugh and tells him to drop the act, giving him a genuine thank you for saving his bacon. General Tang wastes no time and pitches the gig. The CEO of the Yanmei Group is willing to pay an absolute fortune for an elite bodyguard. With what the MC brings to the table, the job is basically his. The event kicks off. A female voice announces the start of the Yanmei Group tryouts and welcomes the survivors to the very first challenge, the Phantom Maze. The rules are loud and clear. Candidates need to find the exit and, more importantly, make sure nobody snatches their ID tag. The ultimatum drops right after. Anyone who doesn't cross the finish line by 11 o'clock is officially out of the game. Once inside, our guy doesn't waste a single second hesitating. He flashes that signature smile and turns on his X-ray vision, completely ignoring the walls. With his eyes glowing, he maps out the whole place. He spots the exits in the southeast and northwest and can already smell the easy win. But just running for the exit would be way too boring. He figures that with so many potential clients wandering around aimlessly, not opening a VIP express lane would be a total waste of his divine talents. The MC locks onto a competitor. A purple energy wraps around her, and she freezes mid-step as he drops the command. Wait. The woman is boiling with rage, trying to figure out what kind of invisible force is keeping her from moving a muscle. The main guy pops up right in front of her, dripping with sarcasm, holding his phone with a smile that says it all. Shifting into a cute, big-headed chibi version of himself, he acts like she's an old pal and offers a buddy discount. 10,000 and he'll solve her problem. Without even waiting for an answer, he taps his phone against hers to seal the deal. The sweet sound of victory chimes. A notification for 10,000 yuan lights up the MC's screen. Since she's still glaring at him like looks could destroy, he rides the momentum and offers a vital secret for another 10,000. He drops the warning. 10 feet ahead, there's a gravity trap ready to turn her into a pancake. The payment hits his account right on the spot. Tip given, deal closed. The woman goes on her way and the MC sends her off with a cheeky little wave. He makes a public announcement, opportunity just knocked. He tells a chameleon hiding in the corner to show his face right now, or he's losing his tag. The system thanks Tang Xiao for the reward. A dude who is totally invisible materializes, completely shocked. He wants to know how in the world the main guy managed to sniff him out. The MC tells him to cut the drama and demands 50,000. If he doesn't pay up, he's going to broadcast the guy's invisibility trick to the whole maze. Plus the fact that he hid his ID tag inside his underwear. The system cashes in another rocket. He even sells another hot tip for 30,000. He reveals where the wall is going to shift in 5 seconds and warns that if he misses the timing, he'll be stuck in timeout for 10 minutes. The money drops instantly. Raising his voice, he corners 2 guys brawling behind a wall. He tells them to break it up and wire 30,000 each, or he'll call the proctor and ruin the party for both of them. The result, 60,000 drops into his account all at once, straight from 2 phones at the same time. Over in another corner, a candidate is having a total meltdown. He's crying that the maze is worse than spaghetti code, and there are only 5 minutes left on the clock. Another participant grabs the poor guy by the tie, ready to snatch his ID, while the dude begs for mercy. The MC steps in to play referee. He calls the bully small-minded and offers him a VIP guide to the good life for 55,000. The system thanks Lung Muzi for a tornado. The guy gets hyped and bumps the offer up to 100,000. The MC, back in his cute chibi mode, absolutely loves watching the bidding war level up. The camera shifts to the glowing sign that finally marks the end of the maze. Our hero sprints down the stone hallway, dragging the guy along at a speed that practically cuts through the wind. They bust through the portal exactly at 11 o'clock on the dot, cutting it super close, but they're still in the game. The MC celebrates his perfect timing and immediately collects his fee. The guy, super grateful, asks to add him on his socials, swearing his absolute loyalty from here on out. The intercom calls all the survivors up to the 32nd floor. Up there, the last 3 standing in the arena will become President Chen's new bodyguards. With a mischievous glint in his eye, the main guy is already doing the math on how much he's going to charge for an admission fee to the arena beatdown. Once in the ring, our boy steps right on top of the defeated opponent and starts an auction. The bodyguard spots are going to the highest bidders. He holds up his QR code and announces that whoever pays the most gets the spot, keeping it all fair and totally transparent. The dude groaning in pain under his foot serves as a very visual warning for anyone thinking about being cheap. Up in the stands, the crowd can't believe their eyes. This kid's audacity is straight from another planet. But the guy he saved in the maze eagerly raises his hand. He jumps on the bandwagon and says he's locking in his spot with the MC. The main guy flashes a smile, calls him a good bro, and tells him to scan the code without hesitation. Out of nowhere, a little girl with purple braids pops up in the middle of the chaos, saying she wants to buy her spot too. The MC, back in his chibi form, crosses his arms and plays hard to get. He says he doesn't do business with kids. The girl isn't fazed at all. She holds up 2 fingers and drops an offer of 2 million right off the bat. The MC's eyes light up like stars. He calls her a little fairy, invites her up, and absolutely melts, showering her with compliments about how adorable she is. A heavyweight fighter steps into the arena. He challenges our hero, demanding to know if he's man enough to throw down without using that cheap freezing trick. The MC offers 20,000 for a clean fight and says real men settle things with pure skill. The system thanks a streamer for a used sports car. The challenger takes the bait. He drops into a stance and starts gathering some brutal yellow energy around his fists. Someone in the crowd recognizes the guy. It's Tang Xia, the king of war. The audience goes absolutely wild, begging him to pound the MC into dust. A blue shockwave rips through the center of the arena, proving this guy is not messing around. Tang Xia lunges forward with a punch strong enough to topple buildings, roaring a break that echoes through the whole place. With his eyes rolled back and completely consumed by rage, he unloads every ounce of his power into this ultimate strike. And the MC? He just keeps that chill smile, watching this massive fist come right at his face with the absolute calm of a guy who's already won. But here's the kicker. He casually stops the punch using just his fingertips, completely halting all that power midair. Looking completely bored out of his mind, he blocks the strike without even breaking a sweat. With a disrespectful little flick, our boy sends the giant fighter flying to the other side of the arena. The dude is soaring through the air, having no idea how a twig like him packs so much punch. Tang Xiao bounces around like a pinball, while the system cashes in a rocket, courtesy of the big guy's utter humiliation. Flashing a winner's smile, the MC lets him know he's way too slow, and the system instantly tallies up 2 more rockets milked from Tang Xiao's bruised ego. Amidst all the chaos, the little girl in purple isn't shaken at all. She watches everything deadpan, analyzing her target. Without any warning, she fires a blast of pure energy straight at our hero. The MC senses the danger at the very last millisecond and twists his body, dodging it by a hair. The girl lets out a surprised, She definitely didn't expect him to have the reflexes to dodge her sneak attack. Our boy glares back, figuring out on the spot that this kid is hiding some seriously heavy-duty power. The tense fighting vibe is broken by some elegant clapping. A woman in a green dress steps onto the scene. She congratulates the trio on their performance and officially welcomes them to the Yanmei group. The verdict is in. From this moment on, the MC, the little prodigy, and the maze guy make up her brand new personal bodyguard squad. In the crowd, the haters are out in full force. Some think he's just a cocky punk. Others think he's lost his mind. But the system ignores the hate and converts it all into 4 rockets and 6 yachts. Our main guy is already on cloud 9, seeing dollar signs, dreaming of financial freedom, and admiring the gorgeous CEO he's about to protect. But the peace doesn't last long. A pink-haired girl pops out of nowhere and yells at him to freeze right there. The crowd around them goes into absolute panic mode. It's Tang Xijing, the school's ice-cold goddess who never gives anyone the time of day. Nobody can believe their eyes. A senior student practically cries, remembering that even the Class A heartthrob got shut down by her, while the system logs a massive shower of 8 donated airplanes. The MC, with that trademark smirk, goes straight for the pickup line. He asks if she was blinded by his sheer godlike radiance. Tang Xijing isn't buying it. She says she's heard about his skills and invites him to dinner, offering 10,000 for half an hour of his time while whipping out a black card. On the inside, she's absolutely fuming. She's only there because her grandpa forced her to get close to the guy, threatening to cut off her allowance if she didn't. Our hero accepts before she can even finish her sentence. Easy money? He's already snatched the card right out of her hand. But he gives her a heads up. If this dinner runs even 1 minute over, the meter is running and he's charging extra. They head over to the fanciest restaurant in Jihang City and grab a premium VIP table. He settles in and starts running his mouth about how insanely luxurious the place is, acting like he's appraising the value of the literal chairs. She cuts right to the chase. She wants to know if he's really the prodigy who took down Chen Yanji's crew, all while mentally labeling him as a gold-digging country bumpkin. With the calm of a monk, our boy asks if she's been doing her homework and looking into his private life. She scoffs and denies it. She says she doesn't waste time on that kind of stuff, and only knows what her grandpa told her about being saved by him. The MC puts on his humble mask. He brushes it off as just a tiny little favor, while the mental image of Old Man Tongue smiling pops into both their heads. He stays quiet for a second, sizing up the whole situation. She concludes in her head that despite looking like a total street punk, he must actually have something special to have saved her grandpa. So, she decides to test him. She points to the restaurant owner, Wina C, the most desired and powerful woman in the city, and bets that his so-called charm won't work on her. The challenge is set. He has to go flirt with the boss lady and get her to comp their meal. If he pulls it off, he gets to pocket all the cash they saved. Tang Xijing smirks on the inside, absolutely certain that Boss Wei is gonna kick the MC to the curb in a heartbeat. But our boy stays up with the hype of someone who just hit the jackpot. He guarantees it's gonna be a cakewalk and tells her to take notes on how a true master of seduction operates. Once inside the private room, Wina C gives him an icy stare and asks what this supposed emergency of his is all about. The MC cranks the sweet talking up to the max. He tells her that her beauty lights up this little room like it's a royal palace. He keeps the act going, saying the sun and the moon are completely outshined by her, and begs for a photo to keep as a family heirloom. The woman is left completely speechless. She thinks to herself, this kid is smooth, his sweet talking is actually dangerous. To test him, she pulls him in close for the picture, saying the angle works way better if she holds him tight. The second she touches him, she notices his rock-hard muscles and makes a comment about his physique, trying to throw him off his game. Suddenly, she squeezes his wrist with enough force to snap normal bones like twigs, except he reverses the hold in the blink of an eye, gently holding her hand and complimenting how incredibly soft her skin is. He leans in, totally invading her personal space and leaving the ultra-powerful YNC visibly flustered. With his hand resting on her leg, he casually asks about the little toy she's hiding in her holster. Is it a Beretta M9 or a Glock 19? He delivers the checkmate, telling her it's way too dangerous to be packing heat on such a romantic date. With her secret totally busted, our boy simply turns around and strolls toward the exit like it's no big deal. She blows up. She jumps to her feet and screams, demanding to know who sent him, convinced he's some undercover elite spy. Wina's sigh is in utter shock, dying to know how some high school kid spotted her concealed weapon in a matter of seconds. With a know-it-all smirk, he tries to calm her down. He explains that his X-ray vision cuts through any barrier, and he spotted the barrel of her gun right away. But he doesn't stop there. He drops as casually as breathing that he can also see she's not wearing anything underneath her clothes. Wina explodes with fury and calls him every flavor of pervert. The system chimes in with an alert. Wina C possesses the ultra-rare Pure Yin's sacred body. Her rescue mission offers a massive jackpot of 999 peach blossoms, a mystery box, and the key to the secret of this sacred body. Seeing the sheer size of the loot, the MC makes up his mind on the spot. This is pure profit, and he's definitely getting in on the action. He changes his tune and tries to reassure her. He tells her she can chill out, because he's here to save her neck and the neck of their nephew. Wina, still super suspicious, asks if he isn't just another hitman sent by her enemies. On a screen, little Tang Tang is shown tied up to a chair. Wina C hesitates, wondering if she should really put all her faith in the hands of this total stranger. The MC, however, completely shuts down any doubts with a smile. He claims that in this world, nobody has the authority to order the King Emperor around. With tears welling up in her eyes, Wina gives in and begs for his help. She explains that the boy was kidnapped by the tactician of some demonic cult. On her knees and crying her eyes out, she blames herself. She says it's all because of her Pure Yin's sacred body, since her enemies are trying to use her to achieve immortality. In exchange for the kid's life, she offers to grant him absolutely any wish. Hitting rock bottom in her despair, she doubles down on her promise. She'll hand over her own life and whatever else he wants, as long as Tang Tang is brought back safe. The main guy extends his hand with the most swagger in the world and invites her. Let's go, miss. He pulls her up and lets her know in his own classic style, Big Bro is gonna take you right now to smash these scumbags' faces in. Looking absolutely flawless in her green dress, Wina C heads straight to the meetup spot set by the kidnappers. Her face is all focus and pure determination. She takes a deep breath, totally ready for the final showdown. With a bold move, she pushes open the double doors and stares down the organization's mastermind. Inside the hall, the guy raises a glass of wine and starts spewing his toxic charm, saying she's somehow even more stunning in person. Without even turning around to look at her, he remarks that the kid must really be her weak spot for her to show up this fast. Frantic, Wina demands to know where Tang Tang is. The man just chuckles, like she just told a funny joke. He clicks a remote, turns on the big screen, and tells her to see for herself. The boy is safe and sound. The feed shows Tang Tang all tied up. The kidnapper gets sarcastic, saying the kid is just homesick and will be returned the second they seal the deal. Standing her ground, she tells him to stop stalling and just get on with whatever he wants to do. The mastermind smiles calmly. He says there's no rush and they're gonna wait until all the guests have arrived. Out of nowhere, he drops a weird comment about his very peculiar tastes. At that exact moment, two dudes walk into the room. The two guys walk up and grab the mastermind, who flashes back a super creepy, malicious smile. Wina watches this unfold in total shock, completely lost on what kind of freaky stuff is going down in this room. Shifting to a mini chibi version of herself, she makes a disgusted face and calls the guy an absolute weirdo. That's when the MC pops up right in the middle of the hall. He lets out a loud burp, complains about the cheap wine, and demands compensation for emotional damage, claiming his eyes are burning from watching that bizarre scene. The tactician snaps his neck around in a fury, mind blown by the audacity of this intruder who literally just spawned out of thin air. The two goons let go of their boss and glare at our boy, demanding to know who this wise guy is. The MC doesn't even blink. He just stands there, staring down the ringleader, ready for whatever move he makes. Furious, the boss pulls out his piece and yells that the whole place is surrounded by his men. He wants to know how this kid managed to sneak in undetected. With a cynical grin, the main guy throws his hands up and asks everyone to hold their fire. He makes up some story about being an alien with a broken spaceship who just stopped by to watch the drama unfold before heading out. The mastermind isn't buying a word of it. He screams that he's not an idiot and pulls the trigger, but the gun doesn't make a single sound. He empties the entire clip, but the bullets seem to just pass right through the MC's body without leaving a single scratch. He just stands there, totally unharmed. The two underlings are frozen stiff. They seriously start wondering if their boss is actually trying to shoot it out with a real-life alien. The boss completely loses it. He screams that this guy isn't an alien at all, but some freak with cloaking powers trying to play them. He switches targets. He points the gun at Wayna C and gives the MC an ultimatum. Either he takes a hike, or she bites the dust first. And the kid is next. The woman's blood runs cold as she feels the barrel of the gun pointed right at her. The MC couldn't care less. He flips the bird, calls the kidnapper a total loser, and says he's just a coward who only acts tough when he's threatening women and kids. Without giving him a second to reply, our hero grabs a nearby wine bottle ready to strike. With pinpoint accuracy, he smashes the bottle over the leader's head with everything he's got. The dude gets knocked out cold and kisses the floor instantly. The system buzzes, rating that hit as extremely satisfying. The two lackeys lose their minds. They scream that they're gonna fight to the bitter end to avenge their fallen master. The MC moves like lightning. Before they can even twitch, he's already got his fingers dug deep into one of their necks. The guy's eyes roll to the back of his head as he gasps for air, completely locked down by our boy's grip. Right after that, the MC uses the jagged remains of the bottle to finish off the boss, who wakes up in pure agony and total shock. The gang leader is laid out on the floor, coughing up blood and covered in cuts, but his hatred takes the wheel. He forces himself up, summons his inner demons, and triggers the extermination order, sparking pure electricity all over his body. He bursts into living flames and lets out his final roar, warning them that from now on, there will be no peace and absolutely zero mercy for anyone. Fire swallows the whole room. The flames spread with extreme fury, cranking the temperature up to totally unbearable levels. Wayna C, the MC, and the two goons just stand there watching this whole self-destruct show. Our hero cracks a joke about the guy roasting himself while the system crashes in a cruise ship, courtesy of the Shiking Yu guy. The main guy checks out what's left of the enemy. He's literally just ashes now, but the MC's gut tells him the guy isn't gone for good. Nothing in this world is ever that simple. The panic totally flips sides. The two underlings drop to their knees, begging Wayna for their lives and swearing to let Tang Tang go right the second. As for the MC, they completely throw in the towel. They tell him he's a superior being and they didn't see anything. They don't know anything. The MC grins. He thinks it's great they recognize him as a higher power, but drops the bad news. That little stunt almost gave them a heart attack, so the trauma fees, medical bills, and emotional damages gotta be paid in full. Wayna C watches our boy with a little smirk. She notices that he never misses a single chance to hustle and make a profit out of pure chaos. Playing the role of a fake good Samaritan, the MC reaches out his hand to one of the goons and announces that, out of the goodness of his heart, he's gonna give them a discount. The bargain price, 50 million apiece. Just a totally fair fee for them to buy the right to keep breathing. Everyone is shell-shocked. One of them stutters, unable to wrap his head around that per-person price tag, while the system goes absolutely crazy with a shower of 6 rockets and 6 yachts. The MC tells them to jog their memory about their late Master G's bank account password. Between desperate guesses, they finally land on the number 51,888-, perfectly on brand for their master, who was always obsessed with cash. A ping goes off in his pocket. A notification confirming that XX Pui just swallowed up 100 million yuan. With his bank account stacked, the main guy decides to spare these miserable losers and tells them to get out of his sight. The system explodes with comments about rockets blasting straight into the sky. The two survivors bow so low their heads touch the floor, thanking him for their lives like they just got a second chance at birth. A little while later, our hero is already behind the wheel while Wayna C chills in the passenger seat. She looks over at him super sweetly. She says it's gonna take some time to repay him for everything he did, but promises that tonight is just the beginning. The MC flashes a smile back. He tells her that protecting her is just part of the job, and that they'll catch up in a few days to really talk. The system already rings up 10 peach blossom points in his account. He shifts gears and gives her that master-level wink, telling his little sis to hold on tight. Wina's face instantly turns beet red. She admires his side profile, the way he firmly grips the wheel, and every single cut of his muscles while he drives. The engine roars and the car shoots forward, tearing down the highway at top speed. The ride disappears into the horizon. The system thanks Wina C for 100 peach blossoms. The lady is completely head over heels. The trip wraps up, and the car pulls into their final destination. The MC leans against the door and takes in Wina's thank yous, as she practically begs him to come visit her the second he gets some free time. He flashes that wicked smile. He promises he'll definitely swing by and wishes her a good night. All alone on the street, he stretches out. He thinks to himself that making money is just way too easy and starts debating what comes first, the luxury mansion or the sports car of the year. He looks around, plotting the very next step of his brand new millionaire lifestyle. But fate has dark hair and zero patience. A woman marches right up to him with absolute purpose. Ms. Yonner grabs him by the ear without an ounce of mercy. She scolds him for ditching class, street racing, and chasing after girls. She orders him to march straight home to study, while the MC whines that she's being way too rough and his ear is stinging. Back at the apartment, the teacher hands him a massive stack of papers and tells him to focus while she goes to take a shower. He plays the good boy and obeys with a polite, "Okay." But the second she turns her back, he is totally outraged. He can't believe he got dragged away from an epic night just to stare at piles of homework. With no way out, he grips his pen like it's a weapon. Sitting at the desk, he scoffs. He thinks these human trivia questions are way too basic to challenge the intellect of a king emperor. He decides this is the perfect time to snack on some energy fruits and give his physical strength a major upgrade. An intense blue light starts glowing right around his face. The main guy jolts up. He feels the energy bubbling inside him and realizes he's about to level up. The whole room lights up with a blinding force. He looks like he's floating, completely wrapped in pure stellar power. The glow fades. He's sweaty and his hair is a mess, but there's a brand new look in his eyes. He just hit stage 7. A victorious smirk crosses his face. He feels his 5 senses dialed up to the absolute max, picking up every single vibration in the world. He looks toward the door and, feeling pretty mischievous, asks if she's finally done in the shower. In the bathroom, Miss Yenner is standing under the water, lost in thought and totally relaxed. The shot just shows the silhouette of her legs under the running water. A small but super powerful blue flame ignites right on the MC's forehead, proving he just leveled up. Yenner steps out of the bathroom and catches him looking like that. Totally shocked, she asks what in the world happened to him. She glares at him with a strict look, trying to figure out the absolute mess he's in. Our hero turns around. She checks him out from head to toe, keeping a hand on her hip to show she's the boss. She steps closer to the desk, crinkles her nose, and asks why he is drenched in sweat and smelling so awful. He flashes that cocky grin. He tells her she just doesn't get it, that right there is the pure scent of manly hormones. The teacher's not having any of it. She pushes the wise guy and orders him to go wash up right this second, because the stench is unbearable. Without giving him a chance to talk back, she escorts him straight to the shower. Left alone, the teacher glances back at the test on the desk, and her face drops into pure shock. She flips through the pages, completely blown away. He got absolutely everything right. She wonders how, overnight, that kid turned into a walking cheat code. Under the shower, the MC feels the difference in his skin. He notices his physical endurance just took an insane leap after leveling up. The water runs down his face while he keeps a serious, focused look, processing his brand new strength. To test it out, he grabs a razor blade and, with a tiny flick of his fingers, shatters it like it's made of paper. He wonders if he's already reached the point of being bulletproof and blade-proof. He is absolutely itching for a real chance to test drive this new level of power. Stepping out of the bathroom, he shows up wearing the pink teddy bear bathrobe, the only one available to dry his hair. The robe hangs a little loose, perfectly showing off the shredded, sculpted physique his training and evolution just gave him. With the smirk of a guy who knows exactly what he's doing, he pops the robe open on purpose, casually flexing his muscles with total confidence. He strolls into the living room feeling like $1,000,000, radiating the energy of someone who just got a major system upgrade. He stops right in front of Ms. Yenner and tells her bold as brass that he borrowed her towel, even throwing in a compliment about the cute little bear print. Yenner loses her breath. She stares at his abs, completely shocked, trying to figure out where those muscles of steel came from. Her brain just short circuits. She asks herself how she can be feeling this much attraction to a student. She feels like she's completely losing control of the situation. The MC picks up on her vibe instantly and flashes a mischievous smirk, absolutely loving how flustered his teacher is right now. He closes the gap and sits down right next to her on the couch, totally invading her personal space. Things heat up as he rests his hand right by her shoulder, practically boxing her in. He stares deeply into her eyes with a look loaded with hidden intentions, while she shrinks back against a pillow. Looking like a scared little kitten, snapping back to reality, she pushes him away with her face completely flushed. She orders him to go get dressed right away and lies, saying she only cares about his test scores. He doesn't even budge. He argues that he just got all cleaned up and there is zero sense in putting those filthy clothes back on. With a teasing tone, he asks if she finished grading his paper, and if she is properly impressed by the absolute genius sitting in her living room. She admits he was flawless, but trying to take the reins back, she decides to throw a new challenge his way, claiming that test was just way too easy. The main guy calls her bluff and points out she's holding the book upside down. She ignores the embarrassment and dares him to recite the whole thing from memory. If he misses a single comma, no sleep for him. He starts reciting without missing a beat. She follows along on the pages with her jaw on the floor, seeing that he is dead on and wondering if this is really the same Xiang Reishu from before. Totally mind-blown, she demands to know his secret. He replies with his usual charming arrogance, saying the life of a genius is just simple and boring like that. Completely defeated and out of arguments, she turns into an angry chibi version of herself and shoves him right out of the apartment, screaming that a genius doesn't need any help and she just wants to get some sleep. The MC finds himself planted out in the hallway staring at the closed door, completely clueless as to why he got kicked out so fast. On the inside, Yaner leans against the door, furious at herself for pulling an all-nighter to prep study material for a guy who already knows everything. She feels like the biggest clown on earth. Out in the hall, our boy starts feeling the cool night breeze hitting his little teddy bear bathrobe. All of a sudden, his brand new stage 7 senses kick in. He turns his head, catching a highly suspicious noise coming from upstairs. The sound of shattering glass echoes out as one of the building's windows gets smashed in by intruders. Our hero cracks his knuckles and flashes a predatory grin. He thinks to himself that Jaechingyo's lapdogs sure have a good sense of smell, but their timing is absolutely perfect. He was actually just looking for some punching bags to test drive his brand new strengths.